Students, we are just starting a new chapter. That name of the chapter is social impacts. Okay, so here in this chapter we will discuss digital footprint, netiquettes, data protection, IPR, and FOSS section wise. Okay, let us see first what is the social impacts. Okay. In recent years, the world around us has seen a lot of changes due to the use of the digital technologies. These changes have made a dramatic impact on our lives, making things more convenient, faster, and easier to handle. In fact, the communication has been developed drastically. Okay, in the past, a letter would take days to reach, and every recipient would get his or her own copy and respond separately. Today, one can send and receive mails to more than one person at a time. The instantaneous nature of the electronic communication has made us more efficient and productive. From the banking industry to aviation, industrial production to e-commerce, especially with regard to the delivery of their goods and services, all are now dependent on the use of the computers and digital digital technologies. Definitely the applications of digital technologies have redefined and evolved all spheres of human activities. Today, more and more people are using digital technologies through smartphones, computers, with the help of high speed internet. Then why did the digital technologies become so widespread? The introduction of personal computers and internet, followed by the smartphones, has brought these technologies onto the common man. While we reap the benefits of digital technologies, these technologies can also be misused. We have seen in several cases, okay, especially in the banking industry. Sometimes the accounts are being hacked by the other people and the money laundering is going on. Okay, let's look at the impact of these technologies on our society and the best practices that can ensure a productive and safe digital environment for us. Okay, now let us see what is actually this. The first term we are coming over here in this chapter is actually the digital footprint. Okay, digital footprint, what is this? Okay, have you ever searched online for any information? Have you ever purchased an online ticket or responded to your friend's email or checked the score of a game online? Whenever we surf the internet using smartphones, tablets, computers, etc., we leave a trail of data reflecting the activities performed by us online, which is our digital footprint. In other words, a digital footprint is data that is left behind when users have been online. There are two types of digital footprints, which are active and passive. You can see out here, an active digital footprint is where the user deliberately shared the information about themselves either by using social media sites or by using websites. Okay, whereas a passive digital footprint is made when information is collected from the user without the person knowing this happening. That means the person is not aware of the his or her personal data has been collected without informing him or her. That is the thing. So our digital footprint can be created and used with or without our knowledge. Okay, that is actually the active and digital passive footprint we are talking about. It includes websites we visit, emails we send, and any information we submit online, etc., along with the computer's IP address, location, and other device specific details. Such data could be used for targeted advertisement for or could be misused or exploited. Okay, thus it is good to be aware of the data trail we might be leaving behind. This awareness should make us cautious about what we write, upload, or download, or even browse online. Okay, so you have seen that there are two types of digital footprint, active and passive. Alright, that is the thing. Now we are coming over here. Let's see. Okay, what are the examples of digital footprint? Posting on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms, filling out online forms when signing up to receive mails or texts, agreeing to install cookies on our devices when prompted by the browser. Alright, so now some sites are there without accepting cookie we cannot go. Okay, so these are the examples of the digital footprints. Okay, and passive digital footprints are what? Websites that install cookies in our device without disclosing it to us. We are not aware of it, that what the cookies how the cookies are being installed in our websites and all. The website we are going. Okay, so that particular cookies are being installed without informing us. Okay, apps and website that use the geolocation to pinpoint our location. Okay, so suppose you are installing some app in mobile, you will say allow app to track your location, or only while using the app always. So this type of this type of messages are coming. So so that if you are accepting, in that case you have been pinpointed by that particular app. Okay, social media, news channels and advertisements that use our likes, shares and comments to profile us and to serve up advertisement based on our interest. That is the thing. So that's why you will see that there are so many mails are coming from different locations and all. Why this is happening? Because of the collection of data as cookie. All right, everyone who is connected to the internet may have a digital footprint. With more usage, the trail grows. Okay, if you are using more, what will happen, that the amount of footprint also will increase. Okay, on examining the browser settings, we can find out how it stores our browsing history, cookies, password, autofills and many other types of data. Besides browsers, most of our digital footprints are stored in servers where the applications are hosted. We may not have access to remove or erase the data. Okay, neither do you have any control on how the data will be used. Therefore, once a data trail is generated, even if we later try to erase the data about our online activities, the digital footprint still remains. So it is actually not possible for us to remove the digital footprint by, but we have to be very careful where we are actually leaving our footprints. Okay, whether they are harmful or they will be used for the good purpose or for the ill purpose, that we have to understand. But okay, there is no guarantee that the digital footprints will be fully eliminated from the internet. Therefore, we need to be more cautious while being online. All our online activities leave a data trace on the internet as well as on the computing device that we use. This can be used to trace the user, his or her location, device and other usage details. That means from digital footprints all the details can be tracked. Okay, that is the thing actually being said. Now let us see now what else is there in here. Okay, so now you see how digital footprints is being used for marketing purpose. Okay, that is the thing. So you can see a flowchart has been given. The web visitor is showing out here. Okay, and actual visiting and this is the visitor leaves the data. Okay, and then visitor is brought back. Okay, out here. Okay, so means like the data has been the popular site he or she is going, and then data has been sent to the server back. All right, that is the thing. The digital footprints are also known as cyber shadow, electronic footprint or digital shadow, are generally collected with the help of tracking cookies. Okay, so these cookies are created while using popular sites. Whatever research is stored in these along with our GPS relevant data. GPS means global positioning system or service, you can say. Okay, that is with the help of this one a particular location or the location of the user can be pinpointed. Okay, these are shared by actual site. We are visiting to the popular sites, and popular sites in turn analyze the data, this data, okay, and revert back it from the form of advertise later on, in the form of advertise later on. Okay, for example, we search for a flight from location X to location Y for a particular date. Next day if we open the search engine, ads automatically pop-ups. Okay, even if we have booked our ticket. Okay, so it will always tell you. Okay, so there are some sites, certain sites, the flight booking sites, the Go, Ivivo, Yatra and all. Okay, so you will see this thing will happen over there. Okay, that is the thing. So if you have not completed the booking of your flight, then also you will get the alert. Okay, so from where these are being collected, these are actually the cookies that had been sent to the server when the particular user had visited the site. That is the thing. Okay, so as our society is inclined towards using more and more digital technologies, we end up managing most of our tasks digitally. In this era of digital society, our daily activities like communication, social networking, banking, shopping, entertainment, education, transportation, etc. are increasingly being driven by online transactions that we do in our day-to-day life. Okay, that is the thing. So now let us see why we should care about managing our digital footprint. For following reason. What? To protect our reputation, means like our information should not be used for some ill purpose. Okay, to make safe personal information, to prevent financial loss, to preserve our freedom. What are the risks due to digital footprint? Privacy concern, scam may happen, identity theft may occur, and the fake websites. Okay, so these are the things these are the risks. Okay, we may have to face while we are leaving our digital footprint. All right, that is the thing. Now, how to manage it, how to manage digital footprints. Okay, now you see, digital society thus reflects the growing trend of using digital technologies in all spheres of human activities. Okay, that is the thing. So in every activity there is a connection of digital technology. Okay, that is the thing is happening. But while online, all of us need to be aware of how to conduct ourselves, how best to relate with others, and what ethics, morals and values to maintain. In fact, it is actually termed as, all these things collectively termed as netiquettes. All right, that is the thing. So anyone who uses the digital technologies along with internet is a digital citizen or a netizen. Okay, that is the term that has been involved in this era, that is called, in the digital era, that is the netizen. All right, being a good netizen means practicing safe, ethical and legal use of digital technology. A responsible netizen must abide by the net etiquettes. Okay, that is called netiquettes. Okay, communication etiquettes and social media etiquettes. Now, how to manage digital footprints, that is a question. Okay, enter name to several search engines, name into several search engines, double check privacy settings but don't trust them. That is the thing. Create strong and memorable passwords, keep all our software up to date. Okay, review our mobile use. Okay, and delete useless files, that is the temp files. Okay, so that means you have to go after the browsing, you have to keep the settings on always, so where the browser will remove the data as you will come out of the browser. Okay, and then build reputation through behavior. Okay, so your behavior also should be very very nice. Okay, on the website, whenever whatever website or media platform you are using, or the social media you are using. All right, that is the thing. So now let us see what is there in the net communication or etiquettes, that is the netiquette. So I had told you regarding this. So what is the thing? Netiquette is short for internet etiquette or communication etiquettes over internet. It is just like etiquette, like we are having in everyday, wherever we are going somewhere, we are maintaining certain certain norms. Okay, so keep ourselves gentle and all. Okay, so a code of polite behavior in society. Netiquette is a code of good behavior on the internet. It includes what? It includes several aspects of the internet: social media, email, online chat, web forms, websites, comments, etc. Okay, and the multiplayer gaming and other types of online communication. Okay, so it should be very ethical. Okay, we follow certain etiquettes during our social interaction also. I had told you. Similarly, we need to exhibit proper manners and etiquettes while being online. So one should be ethical, respectful and responsible while surfing the internet. So ethical means what? No copyright violation. We should not use copyrighted materials without the permission of the creator or owner. As an ethical digital citizen, we need to be careful while streaming audio or video, downloading images and files from the internet. Okay, that is the thing. Clear? That is the thing. Now share the expertise. It is good to share information and knowledge on internet so that others can access it. However, prior to sharing information, we need to be sure that we have sufficient knowledge on that particular topic. The information shared should be true and unambiguous. Means you should not have any kind of doubt whatever information you are actually sharing, okay, or distributing. Also, in other words, to avoid redundant information, means the appearance of the same information again and again, we should verify that the information is not available already on internet. That is the thing. So now you should be respectful also. Respect privacy. As good digital citizens, we have the right to privacy and the freedom of personal expression. At the same time, we have to understand that other digital citizens also have the same rights and freedoms. Okay, and be responsible. Avoid cyberbullying, any insulting, degrading or intimidating online behavior like repeated posting of rumors, giving threats online, posting the victim's personal information, sexual harassments or comments aimed to publicly ridicule a victim is termed as cyberbullying. Okay, so now slowly we will come to that. Okay, what is that actually? Now next, what is the things? Net or communication etiquettes. You can see out here do's and don'ts. Okay, keep messages and posts brief. Okay, use discretion. This thing you have to do. Okay, so there are two columns you can see, do's and don'ts. Okay, that is the things. protect personal information, obey copyright laws, help others, respect other people's privacy, verify facts before posting, check messages and respond promptly, thank others who help you online, show good sportsmanship when playing online games. Okay, that's the thing. Posting inflammatory or offensive comments should not be done. That is coming under the don'ts. Respond to internet trollers. Post private or embarrassing images, comments. Okay. Name call or express offensive opinions. Exclude people to talk behind their backs. Stick to the topic. Don't stick to the topic. Don't spam others by sending large amounts of unsolicited email. Okay, that's the thing. Means like saying that don't send the same mail again and again, and don't send any kind of information which you are not sure about. Okay, so don't spread any rumors also. That is the thing. And don't respond to internet trollers. Okay, clear. And refrain from posting private or embarrassing messages, images, comments, etc. That is the thing. So these are the etiquettes to be maintained. Okay, whenever you are surfing internet, always be respectful. So three things I want to tell you, that is, should be ethical and be respectful and be responsible. That is the thing. Okay, so now let us see out here. Okay, what is data protection? Okay, data protection refers to the practices, safeguards and binding rules put in place to protect our personal information and ensure that it remain in control. In short, we should be able to decide whether or not we want to share some information, who access to it, for how long, for what reason, and be able to modify some of this information and more. So we need to protect our data nicely. Okay, clear. Okay, we need to protect our data nicely, so should not be misused. Okay, that is the thing, it should not be misused. Fine. Okay, and next is what is actually being done. So the data protection could be done by employing a good internet security software. Okay, consequences of unprotected data or the data breaches: the suffer from security breach attack, physical data loss may happen, hit with a virus, okay, targeted by hackers, suffer from DDoS, that is the distributed denial of services. Okay, that means in that case what will happen, suppose some application you want to open, you cannot open that, or a particular file has been locked by some external sources and all. You have heard about very recently the ransomware. Okay, that is also has been termed over here. So in that case what is happening is, hackers are the people, those who are always want to do the crash of the system. Okay, so what they do, they are taking some particular or important files of the user and they are just locking it. Okay, and after, instead of that, what they are asking some money, okay, to be transferred to their account. Okay, and then only they will give you the right to open it. So in that case what will happen, so that is actually one kind of denial of service. Okay, so whatever service you want, suppose you want to boot your machine, you cannot do that because of the virus activity. That is actually the denial of service. Loss of money also may happen. Okay, intellectual property at risk. Okay, and damage, downtime. All right, this is the thing. So digital communication includes email, texting, instant messaging, talking on the cell phone, audio or video conferencing, posting on forums, social networking sites. All these are great ways to connect with people in order to exchange ideas, share data and knowledge. But at the same time, there are some risks also. Okay, good communication over email, chat room and other such forms requires a digital citizen to abide by the communication etiquettes. Okay, but the thing is that sometimes the opposite thing also happens. Your data may be used for the ill purpose. Okay, for causing you harm. Okay, so fake accounts has been created, and from that account something some odd things are going on. Okay, so odd things are happening. Clear. That is the thing. Okay, so that's why we need to go on with data protection. So that means, what does it say? Always be precise. Okay, we should not waste precious time in responding unnecessary emails or comments unless they have some relevance for us. Also, we should not always expect an instant response, as the recipient may have other priorities. Respect data limits. For concern related to data and bandwidth, very large attachments may be avoided. Rather, send compressed files or link of the files through cloud shared storage like Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, Yahoo Dropbox, YouTube, etc. Okay, that is the thing. So In this way actually you will be able to protect your data. That is the thing. All right, so now let us see here, there's what else is there. Okay, so how we can protect our personal data online? Through encryption of our data. Keep passwords private, don't share it anywhere, don't overshare on social networking sites. Means as much as possible you should not share your personal data over there, or whatever had happened at the back, that should not also be discussed. Okay, use security software, avoid phishing of emails. Okay, be wise about Wi-Fi. Okay, be alert to impersonators. Okay, and safely dispose of personal informations. Okay, so these are the things, if you do, then you can protect your data online. Okay, personal data online to some extent. We are not saying that absolutely you will be able to protect, but still some certain measures, if you, as in this form, if you are taking, in that case you will be bit safe. All right. Okay, so for today I am ending it over here. Next part we will discuss in my next tutorial video. Okay, till then, thank you and be safe.